Hello, my name is Megs of Plastic, and today we are dissecting the new Scarah Screams Fan Club doll. First, I do want to say I did get a bookshelf as of recent. It's very empty. That'll get more filled, but I did get a bookshelf. I also have this hat.
Oh my God.
My hair is very long and very unruly. We have a hair appointment in February, so I'll do something about it. But I want to say first off that this doll, this fan club doll, was a complete surprise. I had no idea that it was going to be Scarah. I had no idea what it was going to look like. There were no leaks. It was just like, here you go. Here's the most gorgeous doll you've ever seen. Surprised. And then I saw the photos and it was amazing. I love when that happens. It feels like the Xenomorphs collector all over again because we had no clue about that. And then they were like the most beautiful doll we've ever seen. So it was the same vibe, at least for me, especially since it sold out in 7 minutes. I will say the fan club doll being Scarah actually makes me really happy because I feel like when she was in G1, she didn't get a lot of dolls. She didn't have very many. Not a lot of them were cool. The I Heart Fashion one, love her. I have her. And then she had SDCC exclusive with Hoodoo. Not a lot was given to her, but she was a very big reoccurring side character. Especially in 13 Wishes, where Howleen uses her unfairly to read people's minds of
do they actually like me or are they lying?
Either way, very hyped that it's Scarah because I like her character. I think she's very cool. In addition, I just love her character design. I love the 60s inspiration. It's so good. It fits her so well. So this doll did release on January 9th at noon. I did get one because I had to. But it was priced at $50. The actual page on Mattel Creations for the doll was not public until noon that day, the day and time it went on sale. You could not sit and wait on the page. You had to refresh it, and I think it was in an attempt to stop scalpers from buying dolls or using bots to buy dolls. So I get it, and honestly it wasn't that bad. I feel like it wasn't that different or more difficult to get her. You just had to refresh your page and click on her link. It really wasn't that crazy. Again, based on my first impressions, I absolutely adore her. I love her so much. This doll was a must-have for me. Thank God I got her because I would have cried. I've only cried once at missing a doll, and that was the Shining re-release. I was putting in my credit card, and the page switched to say sold out, and I cried. But this was just a need. But I'm so proud of myself. I got her.
Go me.
I'm genuinely very excited for an unboxing. I'm very excited. There's also unboxings that I need to do because I got a lot of dolls for Christmas. I got the Xenomorph doll, I got the Megan doll, I got Edward Scissorhands, and I got the Lost Boys collector. So lots of dolls to come. Lost Boys is currently on top of my bookshelf. So is that Sweet Screams Twyla doll that I still have not done a video for. I'm very sorry. I had an emotional go about with the Barbie collab. I had to order another one because the box was broken. I have footage of that, so you'll see that. But very exciting. And it's very sweet. I'm very grateful because I know my family and also my boyfriend's family indulges on my Monster High obsession. One of those dolls his aunt got me, my boyfriend's aunt. Xenomorph I would have paid for myself, but Christmas was coming up, so I was like, take it. On her page, her official description from Mattel says, one of the sweetest schools in Monster High finally gets her own members-only Scollector doll, sure to make you shriek. Oh God. Scarah Screams is a beautiful banshee with a fabulous 60s era style. She's all dressed up in a gorgeous green look inspired by her Emerald Isle Scarah, including a velvet touch mini dress embroidered with Celtic details. She wears a supernatural shroud depicting the forest screamery of her homeland, sheer green tights, and dainty mid-century flats that double as haunting heels. I'm sorry, some of the play on words gets me sometimes. Celtic, I'm dead. If you scroll down the page further, it says Scream Queen. Get it? Because she's a banshee. Scarah is looking irresistible. Oh, what eerie? Ooh. Scarah is looking irresistible in a veil, parentheses, literally, from beyond the veil, accented with an ornate, shrieking design headpiece and matching retro-inspired earrings. And then further down the page, finally, we have Banshee Beauty. It says, this Banshee nose look isn't complete without the perfect Scarah shoes. So she rocks convertible kicks, the first ever monster high heels to transform into flats. It's pretty cool. Also, there is a behind the screams, get it? Screams. Okay. A behind the scenes video that's around 2.5 minutes long, where basically you sit down with some of the main designers, being our one and only baddie, Annalise. Wow. Ooh. She's fantastic. I love her so much. She's done a lot of designs that I personally love. Her and Rebecca, love both of them so much. I feel like her design tastes are very similar to my own. Like, if I were to design a doll, I feel like it would look similar to what she's designed, which is why I love her so much. We got, all the behind the scenes design pages from them. So it was like going into detail about everything and decisions that were made with designing the doll, which will be included in my dissection. I will include it. I will feature it. I will mention it. If you don't have fan club, this is what you're missing. It just talks about the origin of the Banshee itself and how they culturally roamed the Emerald Isle at night, and their screams gave premonitions of bad things or death to come. And then we end up talking to the product graphics illustrator Marina and textile engineer Lizette. I love seeing these faces, giving credit where credit is due. But about how she is inspired by her Celtic roots. The dress is actually embroidered, which is the first Fang Club doll to have an embroidery. They talk about the pattern on the veil and explain that in detail. They also talk about the shoes, how the smoke is removable, how the smoke itself is like a tortured mass of whales and paintwork. And they also talk to the lead packaging designer, Charisse, about the box for Scarah. I just love these behind the scenes because we get some names, I love seeing the credit where credit is due. I followed Marina on Instagram, which was the product graphic illustrator, and she did some stuff for the Holiday Scalita doll, like the newest one, where it's like Quetzalcoatl or whatever, the goddess, the Aztec goddess, snake god, I don't freaking know. But they talk about how they focused on the shape of the scream for the box and like 60 mod fashion for inspiration. Baby. Like on the back of the box, it also focuses on the photography of the doll. So it's just like little things like that you can see, but it's nice to hear people talk about it because, On to the dissection, though. I don't want to waste your time here. I'm already yapping. Getting into it, I'm going to start with her face. First off, I want to say it is muggy up in here. It is muggy.
Sister, I'm pickled.
Muggy. So the green lip is really simple. It just looks really nice. But those eyes. First off, they have some extra shading in like the outer corners of each eye. And you can see like these weird crackly thingies in them. And they look so good. They also talked about that the Fan Club dolls get a more detailed face screening, so they wanted to add some more detail to her eyes, and since they're just whited out, they're like, what are we gonna do? And then they're like, what shading? But it looks great. And then her bottom lashes, like her eyeshadow looks good, it's green, whatever, but the bottom lashes, they're longer, and they did it because they wanted it to be inspired by 60s mod fashion. It's cool. It's really cool. Also, I didn't notice this till I was actually looking at a close-up of her eyes on these design pages, but they added a white highlight to like her waterline basically. And it just looks so good, and it's such a good reference to like 60s mod. It makes me think of Trixie Mattel and like drag queens a little bit. How like they add white eyeliner on the waterline to make their eyes look bigger. But I love it. It looks so good. Her hair is also just like super simple and straight, but she does have her iconic like big bangs, like a big bang moment. And it's really nice because she has that veil, right? So the hair that's underneath the veil isn't really going to be like super seen. So if you went complicated with it, it's not really going to be a main focus. But then the bangs are in front of the veil, so you see them. So it's really nice. It's like a little peekaboo, my hair's here. So the earrings are really interesting. I really like the choice of silver for her accessories. They could have done gold, but I like the silver more. I don't know. I'm just a silver girl. Like all my jewelry is silver. But I couldn't tell what these earrings were at first. Like based on the stock photos, I was like, I have no idea what the design is of these earrings. But they are circular and really cute, and they were done in that way because they really, again, wanted to be inspired by 60 mod fashion with the big dangly earrings, so they use these big circles. Now, with the design pages, you get a close-up photo of the actual molding for the earrings without any color, just a nice, like, graphic of the earrings, and it's really cool. It's really cool. It is a woman screaming. Like she's like, and it's like that one classic image that you see on Pinterest all the time. It'll be right there, don't worry. But it's like that one classic image that you see on Pinterest all the time. And it's that. And then her hair are these Celtic swirls. That's really cool. I don't know. It's nice. I'm really glad we got the design pages because I would have never knew. I would have just been like,
I can't tell what that earring is. I guess I'll see in person.
Girl. No, I get to actually see. And they're like, yeah, we decided to like have her screaming because like banshees yell. But then put that Irish Celtic symbol for the hair, these little swirls. I'm like, I would have never known. Not until I got it, but like I wouldn't have known. I also accidentally delivered it to my boyfriend's parents' house because I was not concerned with what info I was putting in. I was more concerned about getting it, so I don't know when I'll get it. My bad. So then on her neck, which I didn't notice, but on her neck she's wearing like a little green ribbon. And I didn't even realize because I was like, oh, she has no necklace. Which to me made sense because I was like, the dress is already so high cut. And she has the veil. And like, she's got those dangly earrings. It's kind of busy. Like, I get it why they didn't do a necklace. I think that would have looked bad. But they put like a green ribbon on her neck, like a choker. And it looks really good. Like, it looks really good. And in the design notes, they even said they were like, green ribbon because we don't want it to be too busy. They're smart. They're smart. I don't know. It's cute. It's simple. It's subtle. It's nice. It's nothing crazy. I really like it. Moving on to the veil, how it's connected to her actual head is this like silver headband thing. Tiara, headband, whatever you want to call it. It's hard to kind of see in the stock photos, I'm going to be honest. Like, you don't get a great photo of it. Nothing like top down. You only see her from the front, so you can't really see the design that well. Which is, again, why I'm so glad we have these design photos. Because I would have just been like,
I don't know. There's a design there, but I can't really see it. So moving on.
the design. They actually came up with a different design first, which was more detailed. They showed it on the design page, which is really cool. The design looks good. But then they're like, this is too detailed. There's no way for it to stay in place on her head. There's no way to hide like an elastic or something in her head to like keep this in place. It needs to be more simple. There needs to be more room. So they made a different design, which was more open. You could see the veil and her hair through the design. So it wasn't just silver. And then in the middle, like right in the middle, there's this really cool emblem of like, it looks like a skelet that's like screaming in a way. It's like, ooh. It reminds me of The Scream by Edward Munch, low-key. Munch. He's munching. No, I don't think that's how you say it.
Edvard Munch.
Edvard Munch. Munch. Edvard Munch. I'm actually part Russian, if you didn't know. They use this like interweaving like Celtic pattern for the headband, which looks really good. I like the references. I like all the Celtic references because I think Celtic stuff has such cool designs, like and just cool repetitive patterns in design. Like I like it a lot. Guys, my hair is really bothering me. I can't do this. Look at this. It used to be up here. Look at all that. It's grown so much. I had an 8-year-old child ask if I was wearing hair extensions because my hair grew out. She goes,
Is it rude to say that it looks like you're wearing hair extensions?
I'm like, you're 8. Crazy. I was like, I need to book a hair appointment now, pronto. I know she wasn't being mean, but I was just like,
oh my God, bro.
I can't be looking like that. Back to the doll. Moving on to the veil itself. It's gorgeous. So the veil going down is actually split in the center, and there's this lovely lace trim on the ends of the actual veil, and it looks really beautiful. And then where it's split in the center, it's not like just flailing apart. It's actually connected by like 2 bows, like green solid bows, and they look really cute. I actually really like this design. But the pattern on the back, there is a like printed metallic pattern on the back. The color's kind of brown, kind of green, kind of gross. No, I couldn't tell exactly what the pattern was at first. I was just kind of like, oh, it kind of looks like tree branches or like tree roots or something. But looking at the design pages, it is actually at the bottom of the veil, it is like tree branches. But then at the top near the head, it morphs into a spider web with dewdrops on it. And they wanted to include this forest pattern and the spider web because they wanted to reference the fact that banshees roam the Emerald Isle, which is like a forest, and they're shrouded in darkness. So they wanted to do it as a veil because she's in a veil of darkness. I love when they reference their heritage or their culture, because when they do, I feel like I learn a lot. I never knew that. I've never looked into banshees. Like, you know, they're not a monster that I've like researched myself and been like. But, you know, when Skeleta's Holiday doll came out and they're talking about, oh, my dress is after the design of the serpent goddess Quetzalcoatl or whatever, I was like, the who? And I researched it and I learned a lot. So I feel like when they do stuff like this, I learn a lot. Makes me feel cool. I like learning. I genuinely can't praise this veil enough. I think that so much detail just went into it. There's also certain animals in it. There's some crows and there's some like ferrets, I think. Yeah. So there's crows and ferrets also found in the design of the cape, just like hidden. Like there's ferrets hidden on the branches and there's crows flying near the top of the head. And the reason they included crows and ferrets, which again, I never knew this, they included that because apparently those are the animals that banshees transform into. I didn't know that. I didn't even know they could transform into animals. How was I supposed to know? Unless I researched, which I could have, but I didn't. Never did. I was a child.
Bruh.
Like what, 2008? I was 6. I probably got into it at like 10. So, no. I do want to say that this veil low-key reminds me of like Elphaba and the design work for Elphaba. I forget his name, the designer for Wicked. I love him so much though. He's amazing. I love the way that when he went into designing stuff for Elphaba for the Wicked movies, he was like, I really wanted to take inspiration from like fungus and like nature. So like this veil, I'm like, Elphaba could wear this because it's inspired by nature and like the forest. But I think that these inspirations that are taken by people at creative teams like this is what makes me love character design so much. Like I'm obsessed with character design because of these details. It feels like there's so much purpose and meaning and care given to the heritage of a banshee that I'm just like, that's amazing. Like that's genuinely amazing. That's why I love what you do, you know? That's why I would want to do what they do. I would. It's my dreams. I would do that, or I would be a tattoo artist, but like either or, whatever. With the veil, they also, Annalise was more concerned about the interesting shapes of the silhouettes of the dolls. She's like, for my past dolls, like for Venus and Operetta and Gulia, she's like, I worked with interesting silhouettes and I wanted to do something different. Like still different and keep the silhouette interesting. So the way that the veil falls down and folds and like just looks so stunning. Like she wanted to keep that interesting shape. And I'm really glad she did because I really love it. I think it looks great. I think it looks so interesting. And as a art major, I love the interesting silhouettes because it's very dynamic and it feels like when someone is trying to make a collection of pieces and they're like, how do I make it new and different and add an interesting aspect to it? It's cool. This is also the first veil that is in the alumni canon. Which, by the way, some of those alumni diaries are a little juicy. Moving down to her dress. I am in love. I'm actually in love. I think the general shape of it is very cutesy. It's a short little dress and she looks adorable. Like I look at it, I'm like, oh my god, you look so cute. But you know, and I also love the bell sleeves. I just think they look so good. They're flowy. I love that they're not velvet because I feel like it would have made it too heavy. They're like a nice sheer green. They look so cute. You know, it's great. It is also great because I love the shapes because it plays into the 60s style of all of her outfits. And, you know, she always looks so like sleek. And I think this just looks sleek. But that fabric for the main body of the dress, that velvet, is just so rich and so like decadent and like yummy. I'm like, I want to eat it. But I also love it because it contrasts so well with those sleeves, those bell sleeves, because they're sheer. So it's like heavy dress,
Very light sleeves.
so I really like contrast. I'm a big fan of contrast. And it's also like the sheerness of the sleeve will match the sheerness of the veil. Wow. Okay, girl. But the design on the front of the dress is just like, oh my god, it's amazing. And you know, at first I was looking at it, I was like, oh wow, Celtic designs. And I was like, oh, there's like skullets in there. And I was like, whoa, there's mouths in there. And then I didn't even notice until the design like info came out that there were eyes at the bottom. I'm so sorry, what? I was shocked. I know she's Irish, so like the inclusion of the Celtic designs, like I love it, you know? With these details, it's just so smart. Like it's just so smart. Like I'm so sorry. It's just so smart. It's the right thing to do. It's so obvious that people would almost be like,
Oh, I didn't even think about that because it was so right there.
and I wish that we got these behind the scenes for every single collector doll, like the Scollector, the Fang Club, or whatever. I just like the behind the scenes from the actual people that made it because they know what the intention was. So it's like, you know what I'm supposed to see. But this doll is just a masterpiece, genuinely. So like I said, the design on the front of the dress is actually embroidered, which is really cool. And again, it is the first embroidery in Fang Club, which is very cool. They do talk about how in their designs and on the designs of the boxes, they try and use like sound lines or like echo lines because of the banshee scream in the design to like kind of reference the scream. I'm gonna go over the whole design and what's included from top to bottom. So at the top we have a triquetra. triquetra. And then a triskelion. Triskelion? These are like classic Irish things, like Celtic symbols. Then we have the screaming mouths, which is so cool. Love the shape. Then we have mist and sound waves around the mouths. Then we have more triquetra, sure. And then we have a pair of eyes at the bottom. There's also a couple design choices that they went through before picking the actual choice, because some of it was too busy, some of it was too open. So they went through a couple different ideas with how they wanted that design layout to be, which they included, and I think is really cool. They also showed a prototype, which I think is really cool to get an idea. But listen, for those of you wondering what a triquetra is, we're gonna learn. A triquetra, or trinity knot, is an ancient three-pointed symbol of three interlaced loops representing concepts like eternity, unity, or the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, in Christianity. Pagan traditions link it to the goddesses or life cycles, maiden, mother, and crone, found in Celtic, Norse, and other cultures. It signifies interconnectedness and has seen modern uses in jewelry art and pop culture, notably in Charmed and Dark, symbolizing magic, family, or looped time. For those wondering what a triskelion is, a triskelion, or a Celtic trinity knot, is an ancient symbol of three interwoven endless loops representing unity, eternity, and interconnectedness, with meanings varying across cultures, from pagan triple goddess, maiden, mother, crone, and life cycles, birth, life, and death, to Christian Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, often appearing as protection or a symbol of love and family in jewelry and art. And triskelion, or triskele, is an ancient symbol featuring three interlocking spirals, bent limbs, or other patterns radiating from a center, representing concepts of life, death, rebirth, past, present, future, or mind, body, spirit, prominent in Celtic, Greek, and other European cultures for thousands of years, appearing on Neolithic tombs, coins, and modern art, symbolizing cycles, motion, and interconnectedness. It signifies movements and unity, appearing in various forms from spirals to human legs, noticeably on the Isle of the Man's flag. Like I said, never would have known that. Never would have known if I didn't look it up. Neither would you. Moving down, she does have these gorgeous green tights. Like, I think they're really nice. They're simple, they're sleek, they're beautiful. And, you know, I think without them, her legs maybe would have been, like, boring. I don't know. Or, like, something was missing, because she doesn't really have any, like, bracelets or anything, because it's, like, super busy on top. The green tights do add a little something that's really nice. And also just brings in another shade of green, which is good. They also talk about how they wanted the tights specifically for the 60s styling, and how they really wanted to kind of hone in on that, like, simple, sleek, long look that, like, Scarah always has. So they wanted the tights to make her look long, like, make her legs look long. Moving down to her shoes. I think they're very cool. I know in the Spirited movies, you kind of come to the realization that Scarah is actually a ghost, that banshees are ghosts, which I think a lot of people don't realize that at first, in the way that they didn't realize that Operetta was a ghost, even though she is a phantom. People didn't realize until, you know, her, Scarah, and Johnny were yoinked away, which is the funniest thing ever, but yoinked away in the movie to the spirited realm. I do want to say these shoes make her look like she is floating, which was the purpose, because apparently banshees float. I didn't know that, because we never see Scarah floating. She just walks. So I wouldn't have known. I truly would not have known. Again, I was 10. But I do like these shoes, you know, and it also helps to remind you that she is a ghost, actually. But there are some interesting designs on these shoes, mostly in the smoke, that I do want to talk about, and I got more information on from the behind the scenes video and also the design sheets. I want to say in general, I love the color for the main shoe. Like, that dark green is so stunning. And then the color for the smoke is so beautiful, because it's not like just clear or anything. There's this amazing, like, I forget what it's like when you water down paint and it gets in the creases, not dry brushing. I also really associate white with her color scheme, so it's really nice to see that like white included in her shoe. Now, we did learn from the video and from the design pages that the smoke is actually, first off, removable. So she could have the smoke as a heel, or you could remove it and have these flats, which, by the way, first ever shoe in Monster High to be able to transition from a heel to a flat. So yeah, there's that. I think the shoe is great because just on the green shoe you have that same symbol that was on top on that little silver headband. Screaming face, screaming mask, whatever it is. It's there and it looks really nice. But the actual smoke on the shoes is really cool. They mentioned actually that the shoes were done, like the smoke part was done mostly by a designer named Adam, which
Wouldn't have known unless about the video.
but it was Adam and he did amazing. He did all this like 3D modeling stuff for these shoes, and it's just this like amalgamation of like faces and smoke and like wailing faces and pain, and it looks so cool. I think he put so much detail into these. They're so stunning. To have your one job just be a shoe, yeah, it better be good. And it is. But listen, moving on to the box. First, I do want to say that I adore this box. Like, I love this box. I have nothing bad to say about the doll or this box, but I love this box. I love the 60s mod feel of it, the psychedelic patterns. I love the psychedelic inspiration because she is like a mind reader in a way. So it's really nice. I love the sides where they mix the screaming mouths with the Celtic motifs in the design as well. And then her little Scarah Scream logo at the bottom on the front is so cute. It just looks really cutesy and good. It looks really 60s. They have those like vibration, like echo lines around her name. I love it. The back of the box is also stunning. Like, it is just these gorgeous pictures of her. First, I do want to go over the little words at the bottom, like what it says. So, it says, "The moon shines bright on this misty, in bulk night." Don't worry, we'll talk about it. "As I float through the woods like a will-o'-the-wisp, my shroud as sheer as the veil that separates the living from the dead. Such an occasion warrants a hauntingly beautiful dress, and so mine is soft as moss, love, and swirls with Celtic knots. In bulk has always been my favorite festival, a time to reflect on winter and welcome emerald green spring with all the might of a banshee wail. And tonight, back in Ireland, I'll let my voice ring as loud as I want." I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry over a stupid back of a box. I'm not gonna do that. See, I come from a family of storytellers, and one of our in-bulk traditions is to stay up until the wee hours and spin stories of ghosts and fae fold. For my turn, I'm bursting at the screams to share all the fun and frights that were had this past scaremester at Monster High. Why am I crying? Okay, I remember very fondly. I knew about Banshee Screams when I watched because in the series and in the webisodes, she talks about how she's very afraid to talk to people, and she doesn't at all. Like, she never uses her voice, which is why she learned how to communicate with telepathy, is because it would scare people, and she didn't want to scare people, and she wanted to make friends because people were scared that if she talked, she was predicting a bad premonition. And now she's talking about how she's so excited to talk, and she's not going to be quiet, and she's going to scream and wail at the top of her lungs during this festival. It's like really nice because you could see a comfortability that you don't get in the show because she wanted to make friends and she cared about people. So she did talk about in bulk. in bulk? I don't know. Which apparently, here's some more learning. Apparently, it is an ancient Celtic festival celebrated around February 1st, marking the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, symbolizing the first stirrings of spring, new life like lambing ewes, and purification, honored with fire, candles, and devotion to the goddess Brigid, later Saint Brigid. Celebrations often involve making Brigid's crops, cleansing rituals, decorating with fiery colors, honoring water sources, and preparing for planting, reflecting themes of rebirth, protection, and return of light and fertility. Goddess Brigid. We're gonna look it up. Okay, Brigid is a powerful pre-Christian Irish goddess from the Tuatha De Danann, embodying fire, healing, poetry, smithcraft, and fertility. That's a lot of things. Often seen as a triple goddess, representing hearth, forge, and inspiration, linked to spring arrival in bulk, and Christianized as Saint Brigid of Kildare, sharing many of her pagan attributes, symbolizing a bridge between ancient Celtic belief and early Christianity. I feel like I could do a lot of research about that, actually. But I never knew any of this, which is why I love the Fang Club or like collector dolls, and when they talk about their heritage or their culture, because I feel like I get to learn a lot. I would have never known this. But moving on to the design on the back, I do love it because there's just these stunning photos of the doll. Like, they're so beautiful. And I love when they include photos of the actual doll, because it's like, you put all this work into it, you should let it speak for itself in a way. I think it's a perfect box because you have interesting design aspects and then beautiful photography on the back. There's also these really interesting echo lines that are done across the photos that are like really beautiful. And it also shows her floating, which is really cool. You know, you don't ever really get to see that. Let me wrap this up. So I do truly love this doll. I think it is perfect. It is a 10 out of 10 doll. It's a 10 out of 10 box. No complaints. I love the behind the scenes stuff about the design. I want it for every single doll. I love the 60s inspiration and then the heritage information. I love it. I love learning it. I love it all. Let me know what you think, okay? She did sell out in 5 minutes. I've only seen good things. And she also did a resale, which was like today or yesterday. I don't know. When I recorded this, it was today or yesterday. They did a resale. But I did get her. So listen, that unboxing will happen. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, subscribe. It's free. Also, guess what? I do happen to have a Patreon now, and it's specifically for my Ever After High reactions because YouTube was giving me a hard time about copyrights. So I did that. The first 3 episodes are up. They're also free, so like go check them out if you want. The 3rd episode's not on my YouTube because it got blocked. But they're up and they're free, okay? Because they were on YouTube, so they're free. Join the doll family, please. Love you guys. I want you guys to build a little community here. I want a little community here. But listen, I love you. I hope that you have a creeperific rest of your day, and I will see you later. Toodles. Ew. Okay. Amazing.